I'm going to be explaining a developmental pathway using The Office as a reference. In this scenario, the N gene that is transcribed is the prank gene, which allows Jim to put Dwight's stapler into Jell-O. In order for this to happen, the Dwight gene activates the Michael gene by telling Michael about the pranks Jim does. Michael neglects to tell Jan about the pranks and represses the Jan gene. The Jan gene that would have normally stopped Jim from doing pranks is repressed by the Michael gene. So Jim is able to activate the prank gene and transcribe Dwight's stapler being put into Jell-O. There are a few things that could happen if one or two of these characters were to be removed. If Michael was removed, the stapler would not have been put in the Jell-O. The Dwight gene would have nothing to activate, and the Michael gene would not have been able to repress the Jan gene, meaning Jan would have found out about the prank and repressed the Jim gene. This being so, Jim would not have activated the prank gene and put the stapler in Jell-O. If Jan was removed, the stapler would still have been put in Jell-O. Jan gene would not have been able to repress the Jim gene, so Jim was able to activate the prank and put the stapler in Jell-O. If Michael and Jan were removed, the stapler would still have been put in Jell-O. The Dwight gene would activate the Michael gene, but since Michael is not there, he could not repress the Jan gene. Jan is also removed, so she is unable to repress Jim, meaning that Jim could still activate the prank gene and put the stapler in Jell-O. If Michael and Jim were removed, the stapler would not have been put in Jell-O and the prank gene would not have been activated. The Dwight gene would have activated the Michael gene into telling Michael about the pranks, but Michael is not there. Since Michael is not there, the Jan gene is now repressed, and she is able to find about the pranks and repress Jim into not putting the stapler in Jell-O. However, Jim is not there to be repressed, and he cannot activate the prank gene. Therefore, the Jell-O does not get put in the stapler, and the prank does not happen. And this developmental pathway using The Office allows us to see what different things can happen that allow the prank gene to be transcribed in order to put the stapler in Jell-O.